Kennedy and I'm the Careers Officer in National College of Ireland. So what we're going to do, it's going to be a very brief overview of conversion courses and the wide range of them that are available to you, and I suppose the reasons you might think of doing one. So essentially, I suppose they serve a wide range of purposes, and there's a huge number of them, and what we'll go through is the way, really no matter what your degree is in, there will be a way to convert into another area. And we'll look at some of the entry requirements for the courses and also the job prospects for graduates and stuff I suppose as well you need to consider if you're thinking about doing a conversion course. Now we only have 20 minutes, so it's going to be a very broad brush approach if I'm honest, but what I've tried to do is I've embedded the links into the presentation for the different courses. So if it's a thing you're interested in particular ones, we'll email you, they'll be on the website and you'll be able to download the embedded links. Now essentially, I suppose what is a conversion course? A conversion course allows you to convert into a different area. So say for example, you've done a degree in accounting and you decide you want to be a teacher, or you may want to do law. There's an option there for that. Or you may have done marketing and decide that you need to get your exemptions for accountancy, and again there's an option there for that. So generally speaking, they're open for most disciplines. However, if it's a thing you're interested particularly in science or engineering, it is more difficult and you often need a base in that. Most of them are a year in duration, some of them are 2 years, and they're particularly prevalent, I suppose, in business, arts and computing courses. No point in just doing one without thinking about it beforehand. Very important to have thought about what you want to get out of it, what's the market like for the graduates. Generally speaking, we'd see because they're so specific, the employment rates for graduates in these areas are higher. Now, I was looking at statistics, but the most recent national statistics we have are from 2008, so they're so out of date now. But certainly in each individual institution, we collect our own, and the employment rates for these courses are, generally speaking, higher than for traditional graduates. And I think the big advantage of it is it allows you to change to a completely new area. So it allows you to keep your options open at degree stage and then to specialise at a later stage when you know what you want to do. It is another year or two of study. You need to think about, do you want it? I suppose the other issue you need to think about is money. And obviously the funding this year has changed, and we have a central desk there looking at money issues in terms of postgraduate funding and all the rest of it. gradireland last year, for the last 5 years, we've done surveys on what employers are looking for. Certain competencies, be it teamwork, whatever. Also, they're increasingly looking for people who have a 2-1 degree. And often a conversion course might get you over that hurdle if it's something you didn't cover yourself in glory, maybe in your primary degree. 20% are looking for relevant work experience, 40% are looking for specific degree courses, and I suppose increasingly as well we're seeing CAO points are increasingly important. So often a conversion course can help you get over that hurdle. Now, there are different routes. I suppose you can go from degree to master's, postgraduate conversion course onto PhD, or it might be that you also use it to get employment. So you can use your degree, perhaps do the conversion course in accounting and gain employment in one of the big 4 firms that way. Okay. So these are the areas we thought we'd cover on the 7 areas of the conversion courses. So depending on what your degree is in, it's generally speaking possible to convert into one of these specific areas. So to convert into an arts course, really any degree will allow you to convert. Most degrees will allow you to convert into most arts conversion programs. And I suppose specific examples we've given would be, say, the psychology conversion courses, librarian conversion courses, social policy conversion courses. And what I've tried to do there is give you the specific links on the different ones that are available. Now, postgraduate do have a conversion search facility as of from the last month, and Qualifax will have one as well. So if there's a specific area you want to get into, you want to see if there's a conversion course, that facility is now launched in postgraduate. So I suppose an example of somebody who did it successfully would be this girl who did geography and history in UCC. She did some voluntary work for her college chronicle, then did an MA in journalism, and now is working as a journalist. So, you know, there are definite career paths there from it. Moving then on to business, again, if for example you have an IT degree, you decide you want to move into marketing, you might want to move in and get the Cap 1 exemptions for accountancy, it's all open. So there aren't that many, I suppose, what's the word I'm looking for? There aren't that many restrictions to the kind of courses you need to get on to do a conversion course in business. So possible again to go on and do the project management, management consultancy, entrepreneurial, HRM, whatever. And what I've tried to do there again is give you some specific examples. So there are professional diplomas in accountancy with DCU and DIT. You can do finance, advertising, marketing, human resources. Now I suppose a specific example for National College of Ireland would be, we had a girl, Angelique, last year, who had done food science in UCD. She then came to us without any experience, but having worked in a hotel as a waitress, did the MA in Human Resource Management and is now working with O2 in Human Resources. Another interesting statistic is if you look at the GradIreland surveys, they'll give you an idea of the percentage of graduate jobs and where they are. And 40% of graduate jobs are actually in accountancy, and 17% are in banking. So again, if you're looking to see where are the jobs, these are very, very useful statistics. And I suppose the reason it's so high is the big four accountancy firms alone recruit 1,000 graduates. So there's huge numbers of, big volumes of graduates recruited into some of the larger accountancy houses. Now education, another exceptionally popular area to get into. There are some restrictions on that, in that if you've done a health degree, perhaps that's not going to be relevant to the curriculum, so it won't transfer into education, or similarly with law. But it is possible to convert with most degrees into primary teaching or secondary school teaching or guidance. So the graduate diploma in education is the HDIP as it used to be known, highly, highly competitive. And the four colleges, I suppose, that you can do it in primaries are St. Pat's, Mary I's, Frebel and Marino. And the other option is an online option with Hibernia. Whereas I think there's only about 130 places between those four colleges. My understanding is Hibernia might train 750 primary teachers a year, so I suppose a much easier entry route into it. Then for secondary school teaching, you apply through PAC for all of the NUI colleges. Trinity you apply direct, and again just this year Hibernia have launched a secondary school training option. And I suppose worth noting that it's particularly difficult to get into secondary school teaching if you have a business degree. Only 10% of people allowed into secondary school teaching can have a business background, so it's very, very competitive. And then there are also some specialist and some part-time options as well for secondary school teaching. It is important when looking at secondary school teaching that your degree has to be recognised by the Teaching Council, and they're bringing new regulations in now. There is a list of places that they recognise, but that's changing and it's going to be out of date within about 12 months, I think. So very important, if it's something you're looking at, check with the Teaching Council before you do it. Also possible to do it in England, and I know there's loads of colleges here looking at it, and it's where a huge number of Irish candidates go every year. So I suppose that's the numbers of primary and secondary school teachers in Ireland, just to give you an idea of the scale of the employment. And I suppose another idea, I suppose I'll give you another profile of somebody in our own college in NCI who'd done accountancy and HR as a degree, worked in training and HR for a company for a few years, then decided he wanted to be a teacher, went and did the HDIP in Trinity as it was then, and now he's a teacher in Cabotili Community School, an accountancy teacher. Now into engineering, very much more specific I suppose, is, to be honest, and that you would need a science or some kind of a science degree to get into it. These are the different conversion courses you could potentially look at. And again, I've given you links there into the different ones that are available, which you can click into. Now these are from GradIreland, I suppose, and they just give you an idea again of the kind of industry, the size of the industry in Ireland at the moment. And health therapies. Again, much more specific, and you will need a degree somewhat related to the area to get into it. But you could do conversion courses in psychotherapy, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, and again, we've given you some links there to look at. I suppose they're the requirements or the entry restrictions upon entry. And again, just another profile to put it into perspective. Somebody who did Bachelor of Social Science, went on to do a diploma in occupational therapy and is now an occupational therapist. Now we were actually just at IBAC there this morning talking about IT and the huge shortage of IT graduates, and there's been 585 job announcements since the beginning of the year, so 100 job announcements a week so far in IT. 10 of the top 10 companies, all 10 of them have a base, IT companies have a significant base in Ireland. So there's huge opportunities in that area. And possible, I suppose, really from any degree, ideally with a mathematical background, with good concept of maths, to transverse into IT. And so that figure actually has changed as of from this morning. There's now 84,000 people employed in IT in Ireland. 10 of the top 10 global ICT companies are here. And it was 300 in January, but 485 as of from this morning, job announcements in the sector. Now, I suppose a reason some people may look to do it is employment prospects, and the IDA have said that 55% of high-level skills are actually being filled by inward migration, because we just don't have the skills available at the moment. Now, there was a new, I don't know if you saw it, action plan announced last week, and there are 17 new programs on offer for free for people who are looking, I suppose, who are unemployed at the moment. 785 IT places on different courses throughout the country, conversion courses into IT. And I suppose these are some of the examples that we can give you from the different colleges of the conversion courses available. So some of them may be in gaming, digital media, cloud computing. And again, I suppose just to give you a practical example, a chap that I know that did in National College of Ireland, he was a sound engineer, had an interest in web design, but hadn't studied it, went and did the higher diploma with ourselves last year in web technologies, and he's now a web developer for Tour America. Law, again, another, I suppose, area that traditionally was of interest, and it is possible from any degree subject to do a one-year diploma postgrad in law in DIT. That will then help you, I suppose, sit the FE1 exams, or without getting the diplomas, but doing the grinds courses in independent colleges or Griffith colleges, you can sit the FE1 exams. And again, just I suppose an example, somebody who did civil engineering, did the diploma in legal studies in DIT, and then went on to become a solicitor. These are the different professional bodies, I suppose, if you're looking for information on the requirements. And again, these will all be on the GradireLand website for you to look at. And I suppose what's difficult about the conversion courses is they are very specific, they are targeted. I know certainly for us, we have ones in HR that are Friday nights and Saturdays, so they can be quite intensive in terms of requirements. And some, particularly the kinds of the education ones, are so competitive to get into. Depending on the course, some of them will be between 2,500 and 10,000. Now there are, which I don't know why I didn't come up, but there are specific ones for graduate skills conversion programs in IT, which they're reduced to 2,750 for masters, and a certain number of masters in IT with HEA colleges. And that this is information I took from Student Finance on the grant situation for the coming year. So, I suppose generally speaking, they're very well viewed by employers, but it would be well worth it, the different employer fairs, asking them what colleges they like to recruit from. Ask the colleges what the track record of the graduates are, and that, so you know the course you're undertaking is one that's worthwhile to do.